So I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I enjoyed Clue on stage, and so I'm super excited to have you on. I actually had John on a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, we talked about that. He said he enjoyed his time on them.
Awesome. And so for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Syiek. I am an actor, writer, and currently performing in the national tour of Clue, a new comedy, which is going around the nation. I've been on since last February, and I will be on the tour until this 2 months from now. I'll leave in May.
That's awesome. And so, what was the audition process like for Clue live on stage?
So for me, it was different for everybody, which is I've loved hearing everyone's story in the cast of how they got cast. But mine was pretty quick and to the point. I got a tape request from my agents in December, right before Christmas, and it said, can you put a self tape together for Mr. Boddy for this national tour that's going on? And I heard that this tour was happening, and I was excited because I knew the director, Casey Hushin. I had done another show with her earlier that year. And so I put a tape together that weekend and sent it off. And then all the offices shut down for the holidays. So it wasn't until after the new year that I got a text from Casey saying that she was excited to work with me again. And I was like, oh, I haven't got official notice. Is this official notice? And she's like, oh, you'll get it later today. So got the email and it was all smooth sailing from there.
That's awesome. And so, with this being a longer tour, what tour stop are you looking forward to the most, and what tour stop have you enjoyed the most?
That's a great question. I think for the stops coming up on our tour, I'm excited for actually next week we have a layoff. I get to go home for a week, which is nice. But then the week after that, when we come back, it's a split week, which can sometimes be, tiring. But both the cities we're playing should be fun. We're doing Elmira up in upstate New York, which is cool because that's actually where we teched the show originally. So it'll be fun coming full circle after a
Yeah.
year of being on the road. And then the second half of the week, we're going to New Haven, which is nice because it's an easy trip from New York City. So hopefully, I get some friends coming down to see it. And yeah, I like the area. So, and then favorite stop so far, I'd say probably was DC at the Kennedy Center. Gorgeous building,
Yeah.
awesome, amazing houses. And just we were there for 3 weeks and getting to explore DC was just so wonderful. There's so much art, food, and it's all great.
Sure. And so, did you grow up with Clue, uh, like the movie or the board game?
Yeah, yeah, both really. I played a lot of board games with my sister and my cousins growing up. And then I discovered the movie, I think, when I moved from Massachusetts to California when I was like 10. It was on Comedy Central a lot of the time in syndication. And so I could just like after school I would get home and turn on, I don't know, HBO or Showtime, whatever I had at the time, and it would be playing. And so I became very familiar with the movie. I loved it. And I when I found out it was moving to the stage, I was just excited. I, jumped at the chance to be a part of this.
Yeah, for sure. And so, uh, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Hmm. Overall about my career or specifically about
Just
this?
overall,
Overall,
yeah.
I'd say, someone asked me this question about a week or so ago too, and I sort of said that I would tell myself to be patient and be grateful. This acting journey that all of us are on this tour, as well as all my peers who are also in the business. It has hills and valleys, and some days you'll be knocking them out of the park, and other days you'll feel like no balls are coming your way. And so this past year has been a knocking out of the park type year, and I'm really enjoying it. But like it doesn't all come at once, and sometimes patience is a virtue. I've always tried to practice that the most, and I've always been grateful for when great opportunities come my way. So just I would tell young rambunctious Lemmy Adam, Alex, all that.
That's awesome. And so, throughout the show, there are a lot of hilarious lines. And so, what are some of your favorite lines that you say, and some of your favorite lines that your co-stars say?
Um, I mean, I love my open air line is, how do you do? It feels great to say it.
Yeah.
It's you lean into the hips, you get the gangster going. It's great. I'll say in terms of the whole show, I've always enjoyed the what exactly do you? I buttle, sir.
Yeah.
Love that. And of course, the flames on the side of my face. They're great. They're great. They're classic.
Touring has a lot of ups and downs, as you said. And so, what is the hardest part about touring around the US, and what is the best part?
The hardest part for me is being away from home. That I don't think yeah, that's definitely number one. Because I got married this past year during the tour on one of our layoff weeks in July last year. And so that was a lovely moment. But being away from home and being away from my wife has been difficult. But it's, I think been lovely getting to experience so much of the United States, getting to see all these cities I haven't seen. So that's been like probably my favorite thing is getting to, I now have a list in my phone of cities I want to go back to with my wife and like just do tourism stuff, not focus on the work.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And so, besides lines, what is your favorite scene in the show and why?
Ooh, favorite scene. Yeah, I think the no spoilers, obviously, for
Yeah.
those who are coming to the show in the future. But I think the ending accusation segment of the show, it's fast and frenetic and really fun, and it gets the heart rate up and little cardio for.
Yeah, for sure. Out of all the characters on stage, what character has taught you the most and why?
Hmm, that's a lovely one. I'll say not necessarily because of the character, but watching both, well, including our covers, all of the Wadsworths who have performed in this show, including JTO, James Taylor Odom, who went on today. Actually, he's the understudy for Wadsworth, and Jeff Scowron and our original Wadsworth, Mark. They've all just brought their whole selves to this role, and it's been such a privilege to watch how just in love with the art and the cast they are. The Wadsworth is it's a character that needs to basically be the puppet master for the whole evening, and their steady hand really helps make sure we all, make the audience laugh and
Yeah.
stay safe for the evening. So it's always lovely because all of my scenes I basically play off of Wadsworth that I have. So it's been they're a rock essentially. Yeah.
That's great. And so, when playing Clue, who is your go-to player and why?
In the board game, I always go with Mr. Green. I just green is it's one of my favorite colors. I think yeah, that's really as simple as it is.
Yeah,
I just like green.
that's awesome. And so, what advice? This is a similar question to one earlier, but what advice would you give to other performers who would like to pursue acting as a career?
hmm Yeah, I say I think for other people who I may not know as well as I know my younger self, I would say generally my top advice is be kind to others. It might sound simple, but this business is so small. It may seem huge and may seem out of reach at points, but there are connections all over the place, and just treat others the way you want to be treated because you never know who knows who, and it just feels good to make people also feel good. So just be nice, be a good worker with others, collaborate, and it'll take you farther than you ever can get on your own. So
That's great. And so, when you were younger, what got you into acting?
that's a great question. I think it was mainly my sister was really into performing before I was. She would put on plays like in our basement and have her friends take part, and I was usually in the back, like pressing play on the CD so they can sing along to songs. So I started in tech, I guess you could say. And then eventually I was trying it out on the stage, and I kind of liked the attention, I think, at first, and then I started, taking lessons and singing and dancing and acting, and realized it was something that I not only enjoyed but was good at, and so I followed it from there.
That's great. And so, as an actor, who is your biggest inspiration and why?
Hmm. Biggest inspirations. Um, there's too many to count. I have so many, like, there are so many actors I watch, and this is a hard one. I'll say, like, I just really appreciate when someone, does the research, gives their all to the role, and but also brings a bit of themselves to the role. I don't necessarily love when people disappear entirely. I watch my favorite performers for a reason, is because there's a bit of their own humanity in their characters. So I try to take a bit of that into my shows I do as well, where there's always at least, if not 50% or more, at least a 10% tinge of Alex in there that gives it the truth that no one else can bring that specific interpretation. So that's, a vague
Yeah.
answer, but it's the truth.
Yeah, that's great. And so, if you were to play another character in Clue, who would you want to play and why?
Hmm. I think if I had to like jump in tomorrow, I think the person I like quote backstage the most, so I could get it together, is probably Professor Plum. I think that would be a fun one to do. But all of them are great. I would give me enough rehearsal time. I'd love to do any.
If so, and so, without spoilers, if someone is on the fence of coming to see Clue, what is the main reason why they should come see the show?
First of all, how dare you? You should never be on the fence. You should be jumping over that fence to come see this show. No, I'd say it's 80 minutes of laughter and watching an ensemble cast just all leaning each other in the best way. It's amazing the pace of this show and how Casey, our director, has choreographed it just to really amaze the senses. I rarely get to sit out in the audience and watch it. I do during rehearsal sometimes when we have put-ins for new people coming in, and it's just she's created an amazing stage picture across the board. And it's really a delight for the senses. Both, it's not a musical, but it does have a sense of musicality to it, which I love. And it's just really cool to be a part of a big touring play, because you don't get those too often. Like the last big one was To Kill a Mockingbird, and this is, in terms of tone, very different from
Very,
that.
yeah.
This is a comedy, not a drama. So, like there's some setup, dramatic setup, but then be prepared to laugh. And I think that's what we all need.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, what is the hardest part about being in a play where there's no intermission and it's all fast paced?
Actually, my favorites don't have an intermission. I've always enjoyed them. I always love the sense of nonstop. Don't sit down, do the thing. Because if I have time to sit down, I get antsy. I start to drift. And what's helped on this show, and I think on a lot of shows I do, regardless of how many intermissions, is I do puzzles backstage, jigsaw puzzles,
Nice.
and that keeps my mind focused and sort of like still working when I can't be on stage with my fellow actors. It keeps like the puzzle solving piece goes here type brain activated, so then when I jump up onto stage, I'm back in that mindset.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, that actually wraps up our interview today. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a pleasure.